Welcome to the Black Mother Wound podcast, where we center the stories of Black women as we heal from the painful relationships with our mothers. Sometimes controversial, always compelling, vulnerable, and real. We believe we can only heal the things we named, and if you didn't know, we're all in this together. I'm your host, Jennifer Arnice. Welcome to the Black Mother Wound podcast. I'm your host, Jennifer Arnice. This is episode 24. What's up, everybody? How are y'all doing? It is a drizzly but warm, late fall, almost spring day in Atlanta. That means summer is on the way. And if you are anything like me, you have been withering away during the winter. It has been tough, okay? It has been very tough. But we coming around. I feel good today. We are going to hop in today to today's episode, which is all about trying to help you stop treating yourself like shit. Okay? I don't know what the name of the episode is going to be, but that's the gist of where we're going. So I have lots of notes. And what I did was I asked myself some questions. So I'm going to ask the question like I'm the interviewer. And then I'm going to answer the question like I'm the interviewee. And I think this will help me stay on track because y'all know I be going off on some tangents. But there is some really good information and helpful things that if you listen to the end, helpful things that you can start to do now to build a healthy relationship with yourself, to begin loving on yourself and breaking that cycle, because the healing is really all about being loving and kind to yourself. The healing is not about the relationship with your mother. The healing is about being kind to yourself and having a healthy relationship with yourself so you can then have a healthy relationship with people in your life and with the world in and of itself. So let's hop straight on in. And the first question that I want to ask myself is, what do you mean when you say having a relationship with yourself? Like, what does it mean to have a relationship with yourself? Having a relationship with yourself is all about how you perceive yourself and how you engage and interact with yourself based on the opinion that you have of yourself. And this is what you do on a consistent, habitual basis, right? So it's really easy to talk about a relationship with someone else, right? So if you say you have a healthy relationship with someone else, or you have a relationship with someone else, that means you engage with them regularly. You check in with them. You know who they are. You know their likes. You know their dislikes. You're supportive of them. They're supportive of you. That's a healthy relationship. They encourage you. They want the best for you. That's a healthy relationship. You talk to each other in nurturing and affirming ways. So you know what that means. Now, I don't know how many of those relationships you have in your life, but that's a healthy relationship. And we have been, okay, I'm not even going to get into that because that's the next question. So that is what I mean when I say having a relationship with yourself, how you engage with yourself. How does the relationship with your mother impact the relationship with yourself? Like, what is the tie between the mother wound? How does the relationship with your mother impact your relationship with yourself? What is the correlation between the mother wound and having a healthy relationship with yourself? So the relationship with your mother is the very first relationship you've ever had in your life, starting in the womb. Now, if there was another maternal figure that raised you, then we're going to put her in that mother space, right? Because the woman who raised you, the woman who fed you, who clothed you, who bathed you, who put you to sleep, who changed your diaper, all of that is a part of a relationship. How she engaged with you, how she nurtured or didn't nurture you, how she responded to your needs, your wants, determine how you saw yourself. Because a baby and a child does not have like a sense of their own existence. The only way they know they exist is based off of the reaction they get from their caretaker. That reaction that they get from their caretaker tells them who they are. So you are defined in practical ways by the relationship with your mother. And so this continues from being a baby to a toddler, an adolescent, teenager, and even to an adult. That primary first relationship tells you who you are, and how she engages with you teaches you how to engage with you. So that's why there's such a tight knit between the relationship with the mother and the relationship with yourself. They're usually the same, and that's why it's so important to have a loving, nurturing, kind, attentive maternal figure in your life. Because when you don't have that, it creates a sense of anxiety, it creates shame, it creates an emotional and even mental unrest where you can't relax because you think something is wrong with you because you're causing her to have this reaction, because children are also self-centered by nature. And I've talked about that in previous podcasts. So that's what the correlation is between your mother wound and the relationship you have with your mother and the relationship you have with yourself. So how does someone know if they have a poor or toxic relationship with themselves? First thing I'm going to say is look at your external relationships. Look at your relationship to money. Look at your relationships that are romantic, your friend relationships. Look at how you relate with the world. Does it leave you feeling nurtured? Does it leave you feeling safe? Do you believe there is enough? Do you believe you can trust those people and those elements? Right? If not, that is a great indicator that you have a broken relationship with yourself, because how you interact with the outside world is how you interact with your inside world. Okay. So what else do you look at to know if you have a poor relationship with yourself? How you talk to yourself. When you make a mistake, when you don't do something correctly, are you quick to be like, stupid? How the fuck did you do that? Why did you do that? You can't do anything right. Do you talk to yourself in a derogatory way? That's a telltale sign. Do you talk to yourself in a way that you wouldn't want somebody else to talk to you? Do you talk to yourself in a way that you would never talk to your own children or people that you love? That's the one that that gets me, the way we talk to ourselves. And we don't think about it being abusive because we think that it's actually true. It's like, I'm not being abusive to myself. I really am stupid. I really am bad with money. I really can't figure shit out. I really do always fuck up. Like, I'm just telling the truth when it's actually not the truth. You are hyper fixated to pay attention to when you make a mistake, probably because you were raised by a hypercritical mother. And that is what she saw. Everything had to be right. So if anything was wrong, it was like a magnifying glass came out on that. So you're probably doing the same thing. Some of y'all by now, y'all already know what your relationship is with yourself, but I really need you to pay attention. And I don't want you to gloss over it, because you've probably been treating yourself this way for 20, 30, 40, 50, maybe even 60 years. And your mind is telling you that this is just the way it is. Like, I've been this way so long, I'm always going to talk to myself this way. It's kind of hopeless. And if you feel that way, why are you trying to heal your mother wound? Because healing your mother wound is about healing the relationship you have with yourself, right? How do you know if you have a poor relationship with yourself? How good are you at setting boundaries and keeping them? Are you able to say, hey, I don't like the way you do that. If you continue to do it, I'm going to walk away. I'm going to disengage. Can you ask for what you want? Are you someone that can say, I want this, I like this, without saying, I'm sorry. Oh, I don't mean to be a bother. Oh, I don't mean to. Huh. Do you do that? Or are you able to be like, I want more ketchup, please, ma'am? A lot of people won't even ask for what they want at the restaurant. Okay. It's like, girl, I don't want to say nothing. Like, are you able to ask for what you want in small and large situations? What's another way you can know if you have a poor relationship with yourself? Are you able to ask for help when you don't know something, when you are in distress? Would you rather just suck it up, do without, not progress or move forward, give up before you ask for help? If you're not willing to get help and ask for help, that's a big red flag. We always, internet, social media will talk a lot about red flags in relationships with other people, romantic relationships. These are all super big red flags that you have in your life to show you that you have a poor, fucked up, toxic, abusive relationship with yourself. Let's just call it what it is, right? What else? Do you trust yourself? Do you believe you have the capacity to do things that are outside of your comfort zone, to do new things? Do you believe in yourself? Right? If you don't trust yourself, if you don't believe you can stand on business with yourself, that's another indicator that you probably have a poor relationship with yourself. I already talked about money. If you got issues with money, there's a good chance you have a poor relationship with yourself, because money is about giving and receiving. So all of these things are how you've learned to mismanage yourself with other people and other things, because you mismanage the inner little girl that you have in your own life, right? So what's next? Why should someone want a healthy relationship with themselves? Like, why is it important to have a healthy relationship with yourself? Because you want peace, because you want happiness, because you want to fulfill the dreams that you have. Like, we all come here wanting something out of life, and we think that it's other people keeping us from it. Other people are doing something. Well, actually, it's you doing it, sis. You are the villain in your own story. You let other people treat you poorly because you treat you poorly. You let other people play in your face because you play in your own damn face. You let other people get away with shit because you don't think you're worth it. And then you go back and try to double back and complain, or work extra hard to make up for how you feel about yourself and how you treat yourself. So if you heal the relationship you have with yourself, one, that's how you heal the mother wound, because the mother wound is all about a lack of autonomy you have. So if you don't have ownership of yourself, there's no way you can have a great relationship with you, because you don't think that you have a right to your feelings. You don't think you have a right to your thoughts. You center others externally, whether you're centering your mother. Your mother could still be in your life or not in your life, but her thought process has been programmed into you. And so you are centering that. You are centering what other people think about you and your family. When you walk out on the street, all of these things you center, because you don't have a sense of ownership of who you are. You are giving yourself away in every way looking for the love and validation that you didn't get from your mother. And the only way you can get that love and validation is when you begin to give it to yourself, right? Um, it also teaches other people how to treat you. When you treat yourself well, and I don't mean you go get a manicure and a pedicure and you take yourself out to eat and you dress nice and you spend money on yourself. You could do all those things and have a shitty relationship with yourself, sis. Somebody edges just got snatched all the way out. All of that you're doing does not mean you love yourself. It doesn't. It doesn't mean you have a healthy relationship with yourself. Right? When you are good to yourself, you attract different types of people in your life and you become attracted to different things. Things that used to have you all caught up don't have you caught up anymore. And that's whether it's in a romantic sense, because you're not looking for someone to tell you who you are. It could be even with money. The things you think that you might need to buy with money to make you somebody. Now you like, oh, I have a sense of who I am. I don't need to buy those things. I don't need to go shopping this weekend. I don't have to have something the newest, the latest, and the greatest because I'm self-defined. I'm not defined by what I think somebody is going to think about me when nobody's thinking about you. I be loving to tell people that people are thinking about their own shit, right? And if someone is thinking about you, they got the same problem you have. So why would you look to them for nurturing or validation? Okay. What are some other reasons why you should want a healthy relationship with yourself? You want a healthy relationship with yourself because it really is the only way you're going to have peace. It is how you get rid of the anxiety. It's how you get rid of the shame. It's how you get rid of the frustration. It's how you get rid of the anger. Folks talk to me about being stuck in anger, being so frustrated. All of that subsides when you start to love on yourself because you don't even then have the energy. You don't even have the focus to put on your mother not treating you right, your family not treating you right. Like it doesn't even matter because you are treating you so right. You are enjoying you so much. And from that, you begin to meet other people who pour into you. And it's like, oh, this is a good life, right? You have to decenter your mother. You have to get out of this concept that without her healing, without her changing, without her giving you the love you want, that you're going to be stuck with the hole inside of you. She can't fill the hole. She never could fill the hole. What a loving mother does is teach you how to fill your own hole. So people who have healthy relationships with their mothers and people in general, it's not that those people fill the hole in their life. They have had a person teach them how to see themselves and to fill their own hole. That's what it's about. It never was about her. Even in the best mother-daughter relationships, it's still not about the mother. It is about how she has taught her daughter to love herself, right? So that's why it's called reparenting. You have to reparent yourself. And the reparenting process is building a healthy and loving relationship with yourself. That's just the way it is. So why don't more people focus on a relationship with themselves? Like, why is everybody so focused on getting a man, getting the approval of others, trying to get all the attention? Why is that? What is happening? And I'm specifically going to talk about it's happening with all genders, but I'm going to talk about women and girls. And specifically, I'm going to talk about Black girls. We are taught that our value is in how we treat other people so other people can perceive us as good and worthy and kind and nice and feminine and sweet and respectful and obedient. We are taught to be a good girl from the perspective of someone else. So they will want us. And it disconnects us from our own intuition. It disconnects us from our own wants. It disconnects us from our own desires and what's important to us and how we see ourselves. We become so externally focused because that is what society teaches us. It's about being kind. Kind to who? Kind to others. So then you could be a good person. And if you're a good person, you have value and someone will want you. We are raised to be wanted by others. We are not raised to want ourselves. And we think if someone else cares about me enough, if I can abandon myself enough, they'll care about me and then they'll give me back to myself and they'll give me permission to be good to myself, to love myself. They'll give me the permission to want more for myself, to want the best out of life. But someone else has to do that. I can't do it myself because then who do I think I am? That is not humble. That's not Christian. All of these things. So it's so methodical how it's ingrained in Black parenting. And it always go back to chattel slavery. This is how Black girls were taught to be safe. If you think about being a woman from a utilitarian perspective, we were brought in to be the ownership of someone else. So they had to approve of you. If not, you might be whipped, you might be killed, you might be sent out to pasture. You're going to have the worst treatment and the worst conditions because you don't have the access to be there for yourself and provide for yourself, right? And so it's just been passed down through the parenting in the Black culture to disconnect from who you are and look for the approval of someone else. And it's not working. It's really not working. And it's going to take a lot. Our generation, we kind of fucked up. We're working on it. But that's why it's so important for us to heal this for our daughters and our sons. So they have a better track record of internal and external relationships. And they can take parenting, they can take family in a direction that is healthier for us. And that is the legacy. That is the legacy we should all be striving for, in my opinion. And that's the legacy of healing these core wounds that we have so we don't pass them down. But anyway, that's another podcast for another day. So what are the things we need to do to fix the relationship with ourselves, right? How do we go about fixing it? And so I've kind of talked about this already earlier in the episode, but here are some practical things that you can be doing right now, as soon as this episode is over, and that you can start to track, right? And the first one really is around awareness, because you got to become aware of what's happening before you can make any changes. Okay. So what I want you to become aware of is how you talk to yourself all throughout the day. And if it's not absolutely loving, it's a no. I'm not letting anything slide, right? So I want you to either jot down the things that you say to yourself, a little pen and paper, or put it in your phone, because I really want you to see what the words look like, right? I just want you to become aware. Even if you think they're true, I just want you to become aware. Okay. And then once you become aware of the things that you say to yourself, and think about it, like when you get stressed, when you get tired, that's when it really ramps up, right? So that also means you have to become aware of how you feel in different moments, right? Are you feeling stressed? Are you feeling anxious? Are you feeling afraid? Or are you feeling confused? Do you feel left out? Do you feel embarrassed? Like take the time to like, what am I feeling right now? Because that's going to dictate how you talk to yourself because it's like a knee jerk reaction, right? So once you become aware of the things you're saying to yourself, and you probably already know the crazy shit you say, right? I want you to start to saying, I'm sorry. Whenever because you're going to say it. I'm not even going to tell you, don't say those things to yourself because sis, you've been saying them a long time. But when you do say them, say, I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. I'm sorry. I want you to realize how many times you tell yourself you are sorry throughout the damn day. Okay? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Because the sorry is the acknowledgement, right? But the only true apology, and my 16-year-old will tell you this, is change behavior, right? So you have to start adopting a new language. I'm so stupid. You're not stupid. That's how you have to talk. Imagine you're talking to a 5-year-old. That's how I want y'all to really think about it. Imagine you're talking to a 5-year-old and you're going around calling her a stupid bitch. Because I know some of y'all calling yourselves stupid bitches. You can't do nothing fucking right. That's why so and so didn't want you. That's why this didn't happen. You ugly. Just think about who you're calling ugly. Think about who you calling nasty or fat or dumb. Just think about it. Get a picture of yourself. Put it on your phone or print it out and put it somewhere you can see it of young you, little 5 or 6-year-old you. That's who you are calling dumb. That's who you calling ugly. That's who you calling stupid. That's who you're saying nobody ever is going to want them. That's who you're talking to. I need you to understand what I'm saying. These are not just words that don't mean anything. And you've been gaslighting yourself into believing that the shit that you've been saying to yourself doesn't have an impact on you. And it does. So you have got to start to switch up the language. You got to apologize and you say, you are not stupid. You are doing your best. Pick the opposite of it. You don't have to go all the way overboard. You are the greatest and I love you with everything in my heart. Don't pander to yourself because little girl in you, she know when you full of shit. Okay? She knows when your ass is full of shit. So instead, I shouldn't have said that. You're not stupid. You made a mistake. How can we fix it? You are not ugly. You have a beautiful eyes. You have beautiful skin. You are this. You are that. I love the way you do this. I'm sorry for talking to you like that. I'm just tired and frustrated right now. I'm scared. And I'm just, have an honest dialogue with yourself. Y'all be fake with y'allself. And then you want somebody real. I was about to say something, but I'm gonna keep it a G over here. So you have to start to change your language. And then even with changing your language, you need to change your tone. This is where you begin. Imagine just, damn, that's fucked up. You so stupid. Versus, that was really dumb. Now, that was not smart what you did right there. Imagine how you change your voice when you talk to a child. You would never use the same tone. Like, just begin to recognize, become aware, and start to make these small changes, right? Now, the last one, I talk about this one a lot. This is in my book, Fuck That Cape. I tell all my clients to do this. This is in every course. So I'm going to go ahead and bring it up here. I want you to make a list of things that you appreciate about yourself. I really want it to be 30 things. If you can do 30, that's awesome. A lot of times when you start an exercise like this, you might be able to get through 10. And these things have to be about you. They cannot have anything to do with how good you are to somebody else, or how somebody else like how you treat another person. You can't say, I'm very generous. No, ma'am. These are all self centered things, right? I have a beautiful smile. I have great legs. I have the best laugh. I tell amazing stories. I am a hell of a cook. I can find my way anywhere. You can put me in any city and I have a great sense of direction. Now that's not me, because your girl get lost in a paper bag. But I'm a driver. You can put me in any city, New York to Alabama to LA. I can get behind a wheel and I can get in traffic and you would think I live there. Like, those are the things that I want you to map out for yourself. Things that you appreciate about yourself. And I want you to every day take one of those, and I want you to focus on it. When you get frustrated, when you are upset, even if you're just sitting there doing nothing, I want you to think about, I have some really soft skin. My skin is so soft. Rub your skin. Remember when somebody said something about your skin, right? Like, this is building a relationship with yourself. You don't even know the good things about you. All you know, you probably can make a list of 100 things that you don't like, right? And you're like, well, they're true. Make a list of the things you like about yourself and bring them up every day. Pick one of them per day and go through the whole list and see how you begin to respond to yourself. See how you begin to relax. See how you begin to feel more at ease, more comfortable, more confident, more trusting of yourself. That's because you are becoming trustworthy. You are becoming someone that you can actually lean on. And it has nothing to do with your performance, how good you do something, how much you achieve. It's not about those things. That, again, because we already know, we thought, of course, if I do everything right, if I get the degrees, if I get the job, if I dress the right way, if I have the right relationship, if I do everything right, she'll love me, she'll be there for me, she'll approve of me, and then I get to approve of myself. That's not what we're doing anymore, okay? So how does your life change when you have this healthy and loving relationship with yourself? Let me speak from personal experience. The things that you want to do, that you've been putting off, that you've been procrastinating about, that you've been sabotaging, you start to do them. You start to move through your life with ease because you trust yourself. You become a person who has integrity with yourself. Like, I don't even know how to explain. I don't like working out, but I know it's good for me and it's great for my mental health. And I made a commitment to myself to work out. So when I get up in the morning at the crack of goddamn dawn, even when I don't want to, when I'm pulling off out of my garage and it's black outside and I'm driving across town to work out, there's this sense of pride that I have for myself and with myself. Like, there's this feeling like you did something for yourself. Y'all know how much you show up for other people. You always want to be there for somebody else. You want to show everybody that you're such a good friend. You want to show people that they can count on you and that you're a good person. But like, you know what that feels like to them. So imagine what it feels like to yourself when you are good to yourself, how you feel, how loving it feels to yourself, right? When you say you want to do something and you do it, it builds confidence, which builds trust, which builds more integrity, which builds more authority in your life. It is just such an amazing experience to get to know me, to get to love me, to get to be with me, to get to hear my voice, to see me grow, to see me evolve, to see me accomplish things. I am so excited to get the chance to even be proud of myself. It don't even I'm trying to tell you, you really do stop thinking about somebody else being proud of you and why somebody else doesn't notice you or applaud you. When you start to applaud yourself, it just feels like home. It's everything that you ever dreamed of in you. You just have to do the work. And I don't care how stuck in anger you are. I don't care how frustrated you are. I don't care how bad you talk to yourself. When you get to it and you start to feel the relief, it's like a drug. It's like, oh my God, this is really what love is. This is what it feels like to be fucking loved. You feel me? And no one can give it to you and no one can take it away. That is the authority you have. I have the authority and the autonomy to love on myself, to make sure I feel good, to make sure I feel nurtured, to make sure that I rest when I'm tired, that I eat the best foods, that I go for walks, that I do things that replenish me. Like, I don't need that permission from anybody else. No one else has to say that it's important. You've got to stop giving a fuck what other people think. You got to stop giving a fuck what your mama think. You have got to. Never gonna happen. Let it go. I guess I'm just gonna say it in every episode and every time y'all see me. It's not about her. It's not about what she did to you. It's not about how bad it is. It's not about how bad you talk to yourself. Do not come in my DMs and my email telling me how bad you treat yourself, because all you're doing is like validating it. Like, can somebody tell me not to do this? I'm trying to tell you where to start. And I know it's hard. Listen, that's another question on my list. How long does it take to make this change? It's not overnight. You have been programmed to do something over the last few decades. It takes time. But goddamn, ain't you worth it? Like, aren't you worth taking the time to learn to love yourself? You will spend years trying to love him. You will put everything into trying to love him. And he ain't gave you no reason why you should. But you will commit to it forever and ever and ever, because that's what love is. But you won't give yourself this year. You won't say, I'm going to give myself this year to put me first, to learn who I am, to appreciate me, to build a relationship with myself. And for parents out there, you teaching your kids how to treat themselves by how you treat you. The way you treat you is the same way they're going to treat themselves. So I think you need to really get on the good foot with that one. So that's all I got for y'all. And in closing, this takes time. You have to be nice to yourself in order to do the work. Like, you can't beat yourself up into being nice to yourself. That won't work. So it's so crazy, because you can be like, damn, I did it again. I talked to myself mean again. Shit. You're like doing it again, sis. It's like, oh, I have to be nice to myself, period. No matter what, I have to talk to myself, even when I make a mistake about doing this work. Yes, you still have to talk nice to yourself, no matter what. You have to recognize, you have to apologize, you have to rephrase it. All of those things have to happen. This is hard work, right? And this is not about you trying to get somebody else to do the work with you. This is between you and your inner little girl who needs to know that she's important. Isn't she worth it? Isn't she worth the time? You know what I'm saying? Isn't she worth making her a priority? I know she is. So let's do this for us. Let's do this for her. Okay. For all my new people here, please go to the link in the show notes, download the free healing guide. It will also help with this work. It asks you some really good questions to get you thinking about where you are in this journey and what your next steps are. Just click the link in there. Of course, I'm here. If you have any questions, hit me up, info@jenniferarnice.com. Follow this community, join the community over on Instagram at Black Mother Wound. Yeah, at Black Mother Wound. I was about to say blackmotherwound.com, but that's not right. I love y'all. I will see you later. Thank you for listening to the Black Mother Wound podcast. I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and make sure you comment, subscribe, and rate the show. You can keep the conversation going over on IG at Black Mother Wound, and click the link in the show notes to download the free Mother Wound Healing Guide. See you next week.